What's going on, guys? Hey, have you ever went down the rabbit hole of mercury mirrors? No, it's quite interesting, I guarantee you, okay? I mean, they used to cover their mirrors at night. Did you know that? Yeah, most people think it's like superstition or something, but what if there was a lot more to that story? Hmm? What if mirrors weren't simply just decorative objects back in those days? What if they were made differently, behaved differently, and perhaps were understood differently than the mirrors hanging on our walls today? This isn't about telling you what to believe by any means, so please don't think that, okay? It's about asking questions that history may have forgotten. Mm-hmm. Now, before the late 1800s, quality mirrors like this were not mass produced, okay? They were handcrafted by skilled artisans using an incredibly dangerous process, right? Thin sheets of glass were laid over tin mercury. That mercury then bonded with the tin, creating an intensely reflective surface, unlike we have in modern manufacturing today, right? It was slow, expensive, and toxic process, but every mirror carried the fingerprint of a craftsman who made it. But unfortunately, the downside was devastating. Mercury poison was common among mirror makers. Many suffered tremors, hallucinations, neurological damage, and shortened lives. Now, this was not folklore, okay? This was very well documented. Eventually, safer methods using chemically deposited silver replaced the mercury process, allowing mirrors to be produced by the thousands instead of just one at a time. Now, here's something that most people don't even realize, okay? These old mercury mirrors right here often carry a remarkable depth to them, okay? Antique collectors still talk about how they seem almost three-dimensional compared to modern mirrors today. Is it because they were homemade? Is it because of the mercury? Or is it our perception influenced by age, imperfection, and craftsmanship? Nobody really knows for certain, but it's an interesting observation to say the least, wouldn't you say? Then there's the mystery of the covered mirrors, right? Across Europe, the Middle East, Asia, even parts of America, mirrors were often covered at night and or during certain ceremonies. Historians usually explain this as religious tradition or superstition, with beliefs that mirrors could trap souls or invite unwanted spirits. Yeah. But here's the real question. Why did so many completely different cultures develop similar customs surrounding the same object? Weird. Now, here's where we leave documented history and enter into theory. Okay? What if these customs weren't created out of fear alone? What if they were preserving knowledge whose original purpose had been forgotten, right? I mean, after all, traditions often survive long after the reason behind them disappears. Yeah? I want you to imagine the world's great cathedrals, temples, or ancient structures like that, okay? Some researchers propose that they intentionally were built on what they call ley lines, right? Now, they say it's hypothetical. That's what they say. Sorry. I got something in my eye, right? Hypothetical alignments believed by some to connect places of historical or spiritual significance. But when you know it, mainstream archaeology doesn't accept ley lines as an established fact. But hey, it still continues to fascinate researchers and enthusiasts alike. I mean, you think? Now, you walk through those same old mansions, cathedrals, or historic buildings, you'll start to notice something unusual. Mirrors were everywhere, okay? Sometimes more than necessary. Modern designers often see this as decoration or a way to make their room appear larger, right? But what if the earlier builders had another purpose entirely? What if these mirrors weren't just simply reflecting light? Because you see, around the late 1800s, the world was rapidly industrializing, right? Homemade mercury mirrors gradually disappeared as silver-backed mirrors became cheaper, safer, and a lot easier to manufacture. But at nearly the same time, architecture, manufacturing, technology, and even society itself changed dramatically, right? Was it simply industrial progress, or did something else quietly fade away with the old methods? Here is my theory on all of this, okay? If certain ancient buildings were designed to interact with energy in ways we've forgotten, right? Perhaps handcrafted mercury mirrors were a part of that system. Maybe they reflected more than just visible light. Maybe they interacted with frequencies we don't yet understand. Or maybe they didn't. Who knows? Right? But if no one asks the question, we'll never actually find out. Okay, guys, if you have not gone down the Mercury or Red Mercury rabbit hole, do yourself a favor, because throughout history it's been associated with alchemy, ancient science, esoteric traditions, and even countless legends, right? There's also even modern stories online right now connecting Mercury to extraordinary claims. Now, unfortunately, most of these claims remain unverified, allegedly, supposedly. But they continue to fuel curiosity about why this unusual metal has fascinated humanity for thousands of years. You know, history is full of technologies that seemed impossible until we actually understood them. Radio waves, x-rays, electricity, wireless communication all sounded unbelievable before it just became ordinary. Tell me I'm wrong. So is it unreasonable to ask whether previous civilizations may have understood aspects of energy we've overlooked? Now, don't get me wrong, asking questions isn't proof by any means, but it is where discovery begins. Please understand, guys, that I am not asking anybody out there to accept this theory, okay? I'm asking you to go investigate yourself. Look on how mercury mirrors were made. Study why these mirrors were covered in different cultures. Also, research antique architecture, okay? Explore the history of silverback mirrors replacing mercury mirrors. And then decide for yourself whether it's all coincidence or whether it's just another piece of history waiting to be uncovered. Yep. Well, you know the deal. Stay curious, stay enlightened, and always smile. I love y'all. I'll see y'all on the next one. Later.
Yo, got the sound.